Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, and welcome back to the Inn of Correction. So, Sue Gray has gone. Well, no, she hasn't. Let's be honest. She's gone, she's left, it's over, she's quit, she's been booted out, she's done this, she's done that, she's gone here, she's gone there, it's all over, she's finished. Smoke screen. Smoke and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke and mirrors. So let's just bring it all up to start off with. So, bring that up. There we go. So, here we go. There she is, the wonderful human being that she is. So, Sue Gray will take a pay cut in a new role after being moved on as Sir Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff, the Telegraph understands. Right then. This is what everybody's leading with. This is she's gone. Wait. On Sunday, it was announced, that's today, when I'm recording this, that Miss Gray will leave Number 10 to become Prime Minister Envoy for the Regions and Nations. It is understood the position is part-time. So she hasn't gone anywhere. She's fell sidewards. The Regions and Nations Envoy is a created job just for her. Because she knows too much, can say too much. Now, she's going to have a pay cut. Because that was one of the major problems. But let's carry on. Miss Gray's salary for the Chief of Staff was leaked last month and revealed she was on £170,000, more than Sir Keir, who is on £167,000 that we know of, not including all the free shit that he gets. Remembering that that's probably double that, and that's just in the free stuff. The revelation triggered anger and frustration in some Labour government insiders who've been battling for higher salaries themselves, so now you know why it was leaked. The Telegraph understands that Miss Gray new position will be paid less than her, but both her previous salaries and the Prime Minister's wage. Doesn't say how much. It is even possible Miss Gray will be unpaid for the work. Some other ministerial advisor appointments, the type of position she now holds, do not come with a salary. They created this job. She's expected to be formally report to Pat McFadden, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster and close ally of Morgan McSweeney, who is replacing her as Chief of Staff. It is unclear when Ms Gray will begin to draw her pension of up to £90,000 a year, for which she is eligible following her previous civil service career. Ms Gray declined the money while serving as the Chief of Staff. Well, of course, you wouldn't want your £90,000 pension when you're earning £170,000. Now, would you? That's a stupid statement. Downing Street declined to comment. Then remains no confirmation Ms Gray will be paid. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to let this go and she'll still get paid the same. Mark my words. Gray will not report to Number 10. The new role will see her report to the Cabinet Office rather than Number 10 as she focuses on keeping the UK together and devolution. So we're going to keep the UK together while devolving it. Typical Labour. It was a leak that Miss Gray's personal pay level was just before the Labour Party's annual conference last month that intensified scrutiny on position and influence. Yes, by the same mentioned people who wanted a pay rise. Wouldn't be so surprised that it was Mr McSweeney's own staff, Morgan. Could be a woman, I don't know. Is it? I don't care. Really couldn't give a shit. She's Labour, don't care. The BBC revealed she was being paid £170,000 after the salary bracket for one of the most senior special advisers was increased following Labour's election in July. Tory predecessors in the role, such as Liam Booth-Smith and Rishi Sunak's Chief of Staff, were paid between £140,000 and £145,000 a year, which, of course, we pay for. The BBC report carried a quote from an anonymous source saying it had been suggested that Ms Gray was best to be paid less than Sir Keir to avoid headlines, and she declined. Well, why should she? I mean, let's be honest. This job and this pay was a reward for bringing Boris Johnson down. Because that's something that everybody seems to have forgotten. That the independent inquiry into Boris Johnson was led by Ms Gray. Independent being the actual thing. It was an independent inquiry. And then literally just after she finished her inquiry, she left and joined the Labour Party and then got a £170,000 a year job in number 10. So that was what it was paid for. That's why. The assertion was rejected by Downing Street with the government sourcing saying it was categorically untrue. Okay. The development did not appear to confirm that it was split at the heart of Sir Keir's government, given the BBC was detailed about where the information had come from. Chris Mason, the BBC political editor who broke the story, wrote afterwards he was approached with confidential information by a government insider. The remark confirmed that the leak had come from someone in government, and not an outside figure, who got wind of the information. It is unclear whether Ms Gray's new salary, if she's paid, will be made public. Well, let's figure that out for ourselves. Do you think it'll be made public? No. Do you think this will be a part-time role? No, well, the other one was probably part-time. Did she get moved sidewards to a job with the same responsibility? Yes, just a change in name. Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. And we're just going on with the rest of this. I'm just going to roll slowly. So, Morgan McSweeney will take Ms Gray's place in one of the new 5 appointments. Sir Keir hopes to bolster his ranks after a tumultuous first 12 weeks in Downing Street. The Prime Minister will be keen for his changes to make a difference ahead of what he already admitted would be a painful budget at the end of the month. Now, the interesting thing is it has got a link here for Morgan McSweeney. So let's click on Morgan McSweeney. Oh, yes, there you go. Labour group, once run by Starmer's right-hand men, fined for failing to declare denotion. Now, this is a strange straightaway link. So here we go. So Morgan McSweeney's party's current campaigns director was director of Labour Together think tank in 2017 and 2020. The Labour group, funding run by Sir Keir's right-hand man, was fined for failing to declare some £730,000 in donations. Well, there's a step forward and an improvement in the situation. We'll get rid of Miss Gray and employ somebody who's got fined for not disclosing money. Morgan McSweeney, the Labour's former chief in staff, so he was the chief in staff, probably got removed down a bit so we could make room for Miss Gray, who'd been paid off for destroying Boris Johnson, is now back in the job. The group set out to develop alternatives. No, I don't want to subscribe to the Telegraph. Go away. Who will you pay money for music and music news? After to the hard left policies of Jeremy Corbyn, which had a back in a number of ministers now sitting on the shadow cabinet, which have all lost their job because they haven't been paid by Lord Ali. But the Sunday Times reported that Mr McSweeney stopped alerting the Electoral Commission to the new donations made to Labour Together in December 2017, which meant hundreds of thousands of pounds went undeclared within the watchdog's 30-day limit. So we've got rid of Ms Gray because it's a bit inconvenient and promoted somebody who's renowned for failing to mention donations. Oh, this just gets better and better. The Electoral Commission investigation was launched in January 2021 and reported back 8 months later when it found that Labour Together had committed more than 20 breaches of electoral law. I mean, none of them were put in prison at all. This led to a fine of £14,250 being imposed, which a spokesman said was towards the high end of the scale. Financial support of the group's activities came from figures including Lord Hullick, co-founder of the influential left-wing think tank IPPR, and Martin Taylor, hedge fund manager, who was also a significant donor to Keir's leadership campaign in 2020. Labour Together operated discreetly during Mr Corbyn's time in charge of the party, relaunched itself in April to produce monthly reports on how Labour can better appeal to voters. Well, it didn't, did it? It just lied its ass off, and now he's going to screw everybody over. It said its hopes came up with policies that will mark out the party as a socially to the right and economically to the left. You can't beat. On Sunday night, when this was written, Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg, former business secretary, accused Labour's top team of hypocrisy over the fine. Sir Jacob told the Telegraph, I think it's a very fair point to be made that the Labour Party is always very willing to see mute in the Conservative eye without removing the beam from its own eye. And its own beam was £730,000 rather than a piece of cake. Remembering that's what Ms Gray basically got Boris sacked for. A spokesman, the Labour Together, said Labour Together proactively raised concerns with its own reporting to the Electoral Commission. As widely reported at the time, the investigation, with which we fully cooperated, was completed in 2021 and the outcome was made public by the Electoral Commission. Labour Party declined to comment, but party sources noted the investigation be fully reported by the Business Insider website at the time and the fine was paid. Well, you can quite easily pay your, what was it, £14,250 out of the £730,000 you didn't mention. So, I mean, look at him. He's a smarmy, smiling little git, isn't he? But now he's the new Chief of Staff, doing what Ms Gray did, who's now moved to do the same thing in another office, and they're not going to tell you how much she's going to get paid. Yeah. So, honestly, if the Labour Party thinks what they've done has worked, I mean, it literally, look, this is the problem. And this is why they don't like people like me. And they, it's literally, I've done this on my own. I've gone on one thing, gone on another, clicked on it, and brought up the fact that the guy now replacing Ms Gray is even more dirtier, slimy, and underground Labour. Perfect Labour. I mean, look at the smarmy git. He's got that smarmy git look on his face. £730,000 of failed donations. So we promote a man who got fined for that in a situation where we're getting screwed over by not claiming or actually saying how many donations we got and then getting into trouble for that. Yeah, this Labour Party is going to go far. Really, really far. Any case, enough of that. A couple more videos popping up on this side of the channel of the other videos that I've done. If you want to pop over and have a look at those, if it's all up to you, down below will be my logo. Click on that. You can subscribe. It's free. And what you'll do is get, just to be able to watch more videos. And especially if you ding the magic bell, and you'll get notification that I've done another one. That's up to you. Don't forget to like. It all helps the algorithm. The algorithm spreads me out. The more people I get to meet, the more people get to hear my message, and the more people get to speak and hear the truth, which is a rare commodity. So don't get your news from the MSN. Get it from people like me. They'll tell you the truth and literally do the quickest and easiest investigation that the media seems to fail to do. With that, I am done. So, until the next one.